Hello everybody, thank you so much for coming this morning. It is really amazing to have you with us as we continue pushing to stimulate economic activity for our amazing industry. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brendan Perring and I am the General Manager of the Independent Print Industries Association that hosts this event. Now, before I introduce you to today's live, freshly juiced speaker, Tony Hodgson from locr, Geo Services and Maps, I want to thank our fantastic sponsor, Canon, who has made this session possible and free for you to attend. The Canon team are here with us today, so please do and go and give them a warm hello. So, if you think cloud-based job submission and file preparation are too complex and costly for small print businesses, in-house or commercial, think again. You can enhance your customer offering with Prisma Prepare Go. It's a simple, effective, secure, and affordable route to cloud-based job submission and pre-production preparation. Prisma Prepare Go makes the digital transition easy and pain-free, as there are no upfront costs, no need for an IT genius to make it work, and an ongoing maintenance contract. You can also access Prisma Prepare Go remotely from multiple devices through Prisma Home, which is a reliable, safe, and secure hub for all Prisma cloud-based applications and tools. It's really easy to use. You need only minimal or basic training before your own branded onboarding portal is up and running. You can check out all about it on the article on the LinkedIn feed. So thank you again, Canon, for sponsoring. Now, it is my very great pleasure to welcome our freshly juiced speaker to the stage, Tony Hodgson from locr, Geo Services and Maps, who will join me now. Tony has had an amazing career in print that spans 4 decades. locr are a super engaged and supported member of the IPIA, and I'm really looking forward to hearing his valuable insights. So Tony, over to you.
Hi everyone. Well, thank you, Brendan. Look, in our 15 minutes together, I'm going to give you a brief intro to locr, where we've come from and what we do. I'll mention some of the relevant social and economic trends that we've all seen emerging during and following this coronavirus pandemic. And I'm going to touch on the challenges that some entire businesses that have been hit hard by the pandemic are now facing. With a case study, I'm going to show you how we can help businesses like these recover. And finally, how we expect the foreseeable future to be impacted by trends following the pandemic. So I've got some slides and I'm going to aim to switch them on right now, if I can remember how to do it. Let's go. Share. Tab. And hopefully you can see that. And away we go. So if that's good, I'm assuming that you can all see the slides, and in which case I can talk to them. So that's locr's logo. locr's a software technology business based in Germany. It's been around for about 15 years. The name's a play on the well-known online photo sharing site Flickr, which started up shortly before.
Tony, just a quick. There we go.
Earlier on, that if anything went wrong, it would be entirely my fault for not having paid sufficient attention to Brendan's excellent tech run-through that we did on Monday. So with that, everybody, I'll plow on as to where I was. locr's a software technology business based in Germany. Its name is a play on the well-known online photo sharing site, Flickr, which actually started up just shortly before locr. locr's founders realized that most photos were shared through online communities like Flickr were being taken on smartphones, and they would automatically embed GPS coordinates in the image's data file of the location where the photo was taken. They worked out how to use the GPS data to instantly create maps which could be displayed alongside the photos on the photo sharing site. And they used the newly available databases of geographic information, something we take for granted now. But remember, even Google Maps was only founded just over 15 years ago, shortly before locr started up. So locr developed their technology and built a huge community of travelers, adventurers, explorers, trekkers, and holidaymakers who wanted to share photos alongside maps that showed the locations. But there was a hitch. How do you make any money from this, they wondered. The software programmers that founded locr, steeped in all things digital and data-driven, then discovered that money was being made in print, specifically photo books. So 10 years ago, they developed an online editor that plugged into the leading photo book service in Germany that enabled the user to place a dynamically generated map next to a photo using the embedded GPS coordinates. The locr guys then exhibited at Photokina, the huge international photo industry exhibition in Cologne, to pitch their technology for photo books. And there, someone from an advertising agency asked if they could produce personalized maps for a printed direct mail campaign for one of their clients. Each map needed to show the route from the recipient's home address to a nearby automotive dealer, like this. And so over the last 10 years, locr has grown to become the leading supplier in Europe and North America of personalized maps for use in direct mail campaigns. They have made millions and millions of them. Every single one is unique and is created automatically from the hidden geodata in the humble postal address of the direct mail recipient. And I mentioned this anecdote about the evolution of locr because I think it's so relevant to what we've all lived through and thankfully survived in the last couple of years. It's a story of adapting to new situations. It's a story of innovation, a story of seeing an opportunity and making the most of it. And that's so much what businesses have needed to do and continue to need to do as a direct result of the global coronavirus pandemic. Rethink, adapt, and innovate. Entire sectors of businesses were stopped in their tracks, many just overnight, in the hospitality, leisure, entertainment, and retail sectors especially. Small independent retailers and restaurants had to learn about and implement e-commerce, click and collect, and home delivery. Those that adapted stood a better chance of survival than those that didn't, as did those that sought out new opportunities that arose, like printers who turned to signage or mass production. And as we emerge from the pandemic now, we must ask what trends are here to stay and what are the challenges that we now face? What changes did the pandemic accelerate that may eventually have happened anyway? How do wider changes in the economy, society, and culturally affect us in our graphic communications industry? What sectors of the economy face particular ongoing challenges that perhaps would benefit from the marketing support that IPIA members can provide? One trend that caught our attention was about the role of direct mail during the pandemic. The Royal Mail published research which showed that people were generally more likely to respond to direct mail during the lockdowns. Nearly half even said they looked forward to receiving the mail each day. In a way, this isn't surprising. The marketing communications we receive via our phones, tablets, and computers are like an incessant background noise in our lives, continually competing for our attention and not getting actually that much of it. Whereas some envelopes plopping onto the mat inside the front door once a day are perhaps a little bit more of an event, one which we call the mail moment. If you're working from home all day, perhaps opening the mail does make for a moment of light relief from the monotony of your laptop. It's safe to say that increased working from home, where that is possible, is a pandemic-induced trend that is definitely here to stay. Office-based employees want it, and the businesses that employ them can reduce their running costs. Everyone can see the environmental benefits, working from home will gradually become, I think, part of the new normal. So given the Royal Mail's research, what does that mean for the future of direct mail? Perhaps there's more life in the old dog than we were expecting from it before the pandemic. If useful and engaging direct mail is valued by the recipients, how can this trend be put to good use for businesses facing challenges in recovering in these post-pandemic times? What kinds of challenges are there? What kinds of businesses are most vulnerable? There's no doubt that public acceptance and economic scale of e-commerce and home delivery have been rapidly accelerated by the pandemic, which is fine for businesses selling products which can be shipped. But what about services which cannot be delivered to your home? Or businesses whose very raison d'etre is that they are not your home? Let's take a little excursion into a story that illustrates how we might help businesses like these going forward. Here's a story from a customer of ours a few years ago that we also think is very relevant to what is happening now as we emerge from this pandemic and look forward optimistically to a future that will be shaped by something rather different. This is a very popular, well-established pub in a back street of downtown Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yes, that's the same Tulsa as in Gene Pitney's 24 Hours to Tulsa hit from many years ago. It's modelled on an Irish theme pub, hence the name McNally's. Indeed, so well frequented was this bar and restaurant that the owners decided to open another purpose-built branch in a residential suburb of Tulsa. Here's a recent picture of it. But when it first opened, nobody came. For months, it was pretty empty. Nobody knew that it was there. Nobody knew where it was. It was fast losing money. So they turned to a local print service provider for some marketing help to drum up some custom. This printer had heard of using personalised maps in direct mail campaigns to show people how to get somewhere, and so they contacted locr. And here's what they came up with. A simple 4-page mailer that included a voucher worth $10 off someone's first visit to the new McNally's and a map showing where it was and how to get there from each recipient's home. The result was impressive. From a bought-in list of 2,500 residents in the local neighbourhoods, over 600 turned up to try out McNally's and redeem their voucher. That's 24%. Would they have got a pretty good response if there had just been the $10 discount? Yes, probably. Would they have got as good a response without the map? Probably not. We know that from our experience of A/B tests of campaigns like this with and without maps, where we've had response rates 63% higher from the segment that included personalised maps in the design. As the experienced owner of the direct mail printer remarked, the drive away to parking lot concept, as he called it, helped create the highest response rate that he had seen in 35 years. And this is where the story starts to get really interesting and relevant today. The owner of the print business was a good marketer as himself. He realised he might be onto something, so he turned this one-off success story into a simple packaged solution for bars and restaurants and promoted the concept around the city. And it worked over and over again. Many took advantage of this as a cost-effective and reliable solution to gain an instant injection of newcomers, trying out their establishments and hopefully turning into loyal, regular customers. One of the key features of the printer's marketing was that he targeted the smaller, independent hospitality businesses, not the big chains. And this is the key relevance of this story for today's post-pandemic recovery situations. Restaurants that had to close for lengthy periods, now they're open again and having to work hard to persuade people to return. And it's not just bars and restaurants that were affected and still are, it's cinemas and theatres, gyms and sports clubs, hair salons and barber shops, nail bars and beauty salons, opticians and dentists, gift shops, museums, tyre fitters, art galleries, hotels, key cutters. The list is endless. And what they've all got in common is that you either have to go there to get a service, or that they offer an in-store or an in-house experience that's far richer than anything you could click and collect or have delivered. Many of these businesses are small, independent and local. In fact, that's increasingly what is looking attractive about them to us as consumers. As well as the service, the product and the experience they offer, what also makes them attractive is their proximity, convenience and accessibility. Having endured a prolonged period in which our local business, retail and entertainment neighbourhoods had to shut up shop, is it that people now appreciate them more, whereas perhaps before the pandemic, they took them rather for granted? But they need marketing support. Yes, of course, via social media, email, and their website presence. But given what we've already learned about the value of direct mail for people at home, and the likely tendency for working from home to be a part of the business and social mix in the new normal, perhaps direct mail, which can highlight the local attributes of the business through personalised maps, is just what they need. The new normal after this pandemic will not be just like the old normal before it. As well as the acceleration of trends like e-commerce, home delivery, working from home, we can also expect an increasing awareness of the social, cultural, and environmental benefits of a thriving local economy. That's why we think that the new normal is local. Incidentally, all those images of postcard format mailers that I just showed you were from our portfolio of samples and design templates that are freely available from our website. We've packaged them up together with a guidebook and practical tools into a resource toolkit that we call the locr backpack. Just go to our website, locr.com, search for the backpack, you'll find it. And so that's it from me. I'll stop sharing my screen and hopefully return to the main screen. And thank you, Brendan, very much for that. I hope you found it all very thought-provoking, as something we can talk about in the session coming up. I'd be really interested to hear what you all think. And yeah, thanks to Brendan, your helpers at the Big Breakfast and for all of these events that you've done through the year. And yeah, and my opportunity to present some freshly juiced thoughts for you today. So back to you, Brendan.